All right, can you point to where Johnny is?
Yo! Can you ask him who's his favorite?
Who's his favorite?
Why do you want to make this scarier for me, bro?
All right, so out of the guests here, Johnny, can you show me who is your favorite?
Wait, he's saying everyone. He's saying everyone.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
He has no favorite. Yeah, Johnny.
Yes. What's up, friends? Welcome back to I.E In Friends. My name is Saul V Gomez.
My name is Air Bear.
And my name is Cesar.
And today we have a very special and spooky guest. Ladies and gentlemen, Steffany Stray.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome in, welcome in.
Hi, and I'll also introduce my doll, Johnny.
Johnny, what's
Say hi
up,
to Johnny.
Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
Can you tell Aaron a little bit more about Johnny? Because we already know, but this is the first time Aaron gets to see Johnny. You see Johnny right here?
Do you know Johnny?
Yeah, I see Johnny. Right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I was like, are we talking about something else?
He's starting to blink. Okay, so basically, I acquired this doll at a used comic book shop, toy and comic book shop. And what's weird about this is that I was trying to look for things to go to Disneyland, like, Mickey ears or something. And I felt something like flick my head, and I was by myself, and I turned around and I made eye contact with like the butt of the doll. It was like in a bucket of toys, and I pulled it out. I'm like, oh, you're calling my attention. Okay. So I went to the front of the store and I said, how much does this Mickey doll cost? And they're like, actually, we don't know. It didn't have a price tag or anything, but everything else did. Like they marked everything but this doll. So I'm like, this is becoming a weird coincidence. And I looked at my husband because we're both psychic mediums. We just have different skill sets. So my husband sees things and I'm more of a sensor and I get like downloads, but he'll see things like actively. And so he's like, yeah, that has something there. And I'm like, it flicked my head. So we ended up buying it for $10. And I guess these are worth like $80 or $150 or something like that because they don't make them anymore. And so at first I kept seeing things with like an elderly lady because I don't know if most people know this, but I guess when you are an elderly person, they kind of sometimes, not all the times, but what I gathered with this is that they start to collect things like they were children. I don't know if you ever had a grandparent that starts acting like a little kid.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
chiquito,
okay.
you know, chiquita. Yeah. So, and I was seeing that a vision with this, the more I was like trying to channel like what was the story with this. And I'm like, okay, why is it showing me that? But then I saw a 7-year-old boy, between 7 and 9, he shifts like his image. Spirits can do that. They can show you how they want to present themselves, and I have more stories on that too.
Awesome.
But then I saw like this really young little boy, Johnny, and I don't know if Johnny, like at first I was like, wait, why are you showing me this? But I think that was his grandkid. So the grandmother was collecting toys, but his grandson was sick, and then when he passed, he wanted to stay, and so that's
So Johnny is in the doll.
like attached to the object, yeah.
That wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You said what's up too.
So, forgot to mention, don't look him in the eyes.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me that. And I've been looking him straight.
That's what I told him too. He did that to me too. He did that on purpose, bro.
I'm kidding. It was a funny conversation I had with Steffany because she mentioned yesterday, she was like, want me to bring anything? I was like, just not a Ouija board.
Yeah.
And she brought
Johnny.
She brought a haunted doll.
Well,
I mean, great. Johnny, we were happy to have you.
Johnny, welcome to the podcast.
So you also
I'm
have...
sorry for looking you in the eyes.
I was just kidding about that.
He's really nice. He's a really nice,
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah, he's very, very sweet. He's really shy. Sometimes, like, the more active and comfortable people are around, he does start to get more active. At first, it's like, when you see a little kid, they just, like, hide behind their parents.
Yeah.
He gets like that. So I've said that in live streams, too. I'm like, just be nice, and I'll read the comments. And, like, the more nicer they are, then the K2 meter or anything that we've had on becomes more
Yes.
active.
So what is that device called?
It's a K2 meter.
Okay.
So it basically just it basically picks up the electric magnetic fields around you. And the theory is that the more electricity that is now conjuring up like a spirit, or like a spirit is in its presence. That's the way I word it. And so when that happens, you can talk to it and like the spirit and be like, hey, can you move this around? Because we're all energy. So that's the theory. And then they move it around. So I've had interesting moments when that's happened. And so when you are using these, you don't want to have like your phone next to it or an Apple Watch or anything. So I like to tell people that because people will use it like, this movie. I'm like, yeah, because you have your phone
Catch
next
your,
to it.
the electric frequency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
And, oh no, sorry, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, so if I 100% believe Johnny's there, right?
Yeah.
But just to make it out, just Johnny, you're my boy. But so if that's like that device is literally on the doll, why doesn't the electric frequency go up?
Just because like sometimes, and especially something that I've always told people, sometimes spirits don't like to communicate with just electronical devices. Sometimes they'll just like stay away from it. That's why I use tarot. I always like to use like oracle cards or tarot.
Okay.
Or just my intuition in general, I feel like is a lot more accurate than devices. But this is a nice representation for people that are not in the space and want something visual. To see. Yeah, because they're not like I always say their spirits are like us without the meat suit. They're not like a circus animal or anything like that. Like if you were in passing, how would you like it if someone was like, keep tapping it, tapping? It's like, they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like I have other things to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's one thing that I always say, like, yeah, sometimes they'll go off, sometimes it won't. It's when I feel like the way I see it, I see like a vision where they're tapping into it. Like, here you go, I'm here.
Like a little reminder.
So I've seen that the second green one has been clicking a little bit. So what is that going? So if it goes all the way to red, that means fully there, right?
Anything that's past like this bar, that's any signal that there's something there.
Okay, so yeah, the second one has been clicking.
Okay, so maybe he's just kind of warming up. We'll see.
Yeah, he's warming up to us, Johnny.
By the end of the night, things are gonna be flying across the room.
We're homies. We're just having a normal podcast. So you have like these abilities, right? And then we kind of were talking a little earlier.
Yeah.
Like you said, like people can have these abilities, like it's just about tapping into them, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the way like I always tell people, have you ever been asleep and someone's just like watching you sleep and you wake up and you're like, why are you watching me, bro? Like,
you kind of sense
someone
watching
watching
you.
Yes, I feel like that's like an intuition right there. Or when you're thinking of somebody and they call you, and
that one's weird.
Weird. That's happened a lot of times. Or you're expecting something and it just happens, like you kind of anticipate something. Another example that always gives me chills is one where like you feel like something bad is gonna happen and then something bad happens. And I'll give you an example. Like, remember the zombie crawl? They used to have like the zombie crawls in a lot of cities.
Yeah.
So in Denver, there was a zombie crawl. And I think this is like close to 10 years ago at this point. And I remember I was just like feeling so anxious that day. I was having fun, and because I love Halloween. My birthday's in October and stuff. And I just felt so anxious, and like I kept seeing cops out of nowhere come in the area. I was like, what's happening? But we left. I was like, we should just get food. I just feel anxious. And then turns out that, and I felt anxious before I saw the cops. So it's not like, oh, because I saw the cops. No, I felt anxious before. And as we left, it turns out that there was a mass shootout there as we left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like, and I think we've all had that though, where you just feel like something is going to happen and then it happens.
So how do you know when it's like, how can you what's the word?
Differentiate?
That. How do you know if it's just like, oh, maybe I'm just getting anxiety, or if it's like an actual danger that like my spirit is helping me stay safe from?
I think definitely like when things like happen, in this case, a shootout happened and I wasn't seeing cops. So it's like, okay, what happened? This is definitely something that I feel like my intuition was telling me, get the heck out of there. And I think in general, that's really what you can all ask for, is just like having that confirmation. And I think that's why people use equipment too, because like they're picking up on things and then the equipment is confirming things. An example of this is I went to Salem this weekend and I had a device where it generates words for you. And the theory is that it's like receiving text from a spirit.
Cool.
And we were walking up to the Allison house. It's the house where in Hocus Pocus, Allison,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
we were walking up to it. I didn't really know the history of it or anything like that. And I had my little like device, the little app on the phone, because I didn't bring my Ovilus. I have like a Ovilus. Sorry, now I'm getting nerdy into it, but it's like a device that brings in like text messages essentially from a spirit, quote, right?
Nice.
But anyway, so I had one on the app and it generated the word flame. And I'm like, interesting, because I'm feeling something. And the tour guide starts talking about how there was a fire there, and I have it on video and everything. And so it's just really nice how equipment can confirm things sometimes. But overall, I think once you do it long enough, you start to kind of understand a little bit more of like what is a message, what's a download versus just feeling things and anxiety.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I always tell people too, though, like whether I've done readings for people, whether I've spoken to people, that if you are feeling anxious, like go to the doctor first. Like,
Oh yeah, and then
I'm never gonna be like, oh yeah, no. I'm always like, okay, well, is your magnesium level low?
Yeah.
Like, are you
Yeah.
doing enough vitamin B12?
Do you get dizzy when you get up too fast?
Yeah, like I always ask questions like that. But overall, I think that's why it's also important too, and they say this in our community, people that are into the spiritual community of that sort, sorts, like, you know, eat healthy, meditate, because that way you know your body. And the better you know your body, you can discern what is like some type of diagnosis versus like intuition per se. Yeah.
That's cool.
What I didn't get the chance to talk to you because, like, you know, you got a chance to talk to them.
We just talked to John. I just talked to Johnny, bro.
Yeah,
That's
we have our own personal handshake now.
Yeah.
what is, so you said, you know, your husband is also a medium and his is where he can see things. What is yours? I haven't really get to talk to you about that.
Yeah, so there's like these like different senses in being like the psychic or being a medium and the sorts of, well, mostly the psychic side. But there is like the clairs is what we call them. So there's like clairsentient, claircognizant, clairaudient, clairvoyant. They have all of these things, and each sense is something like literally like the senses, like to taste, smell, whatever. And for my husband, he is definitely more of like he can see things, and then I would say then it's like hearing things. For me, it's like I consider myself more like an empath, so I'm able to like feel things first. Like I don't see things, which I'm kind of jealous of my husband because he'll say things. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I sense things and then I hear things and then I see things. But each spirit, especially if you're on the medium side of things and you're speaking to spirits or the deceased, they'll talk to you in different ways. Like I said, like it's whatever is easier for them and like energetically how they can connect with you. So like again, when we were in Salem, my husband kept seeing things. I'm like, what are you seeing? And it got kind of creepy because we were eating. He's like nonchalant, like I keep seeing people like poke out the windows. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, they're just staring at nothing. I'm like, well, do they have pupils? And he's like, no. I was like, so you know that they're dead because they're just staring into the abyss. He was like, yeah. And he's like, it's a really weird energy. And because I've been to Alaska and now I've been to Salem, and Alaska has its own energy there too. And I'm very much like the energy of the environment. Like I'll pick up on things. And I was telling him like Salem just feels so like I feel a lot of sadness here and I feel a lot of like intensity here too. But I also feel like there's a lot of like aesthetic, beautiful things. And I feel like there's a couple different things going on. And then that's when my husband's like, yeah, I keep seeing things like I've never seen that in any other city we've been to. I'm like, oh my God. So you are definitely seeing a lot of things.
And this is the same city as the witch trials, no?
Yeah,
Yes,
the witch trials one.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. When I met your husband, he kept looking on top of my roof. I was like, what's up? Stop.
The builders that fell and died, bro.
Yes.
Dang.
That's
Yeah,
scary.
I'll
They're
even
haunting
push it
your
a
house
step
forever.
further too, because we went to Tombstone, Arizona, and if you don't know about Tombstone,
That's my brother.
hi, Tombstone is like like a Wild West. They have all kinds of things there, saloons and all this stuff. And sorry, I just paused that audio. But so what's interesting about that is because of where we were at. My husband, obviously, he's a white person. Yeah, he's like a quarter Latino, but he's white. Like that's how he, identifies. And so, he basically was saying, and this is wild. I felt like he was connecting more with the energies there because they're white men. They're gonna want to talk to a white guy, not me. Yes,
yeah,
and that happens a lot.
Even in the past life, they're racist.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. Like I've had them.
Imagine
Yeah.
if your husband was like fully Mexican. He was there. He still get contacted differently.
Yes, well, it's wild because like, okay, so we were there in Tombstone and we had like devices calling me like a wench and like a
what?
swine.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, we had things like literally things will come up and call me names, but that doesn't happen to my husband. So yeah,
Like good working, hard working man.
Yeah.
It's a blue collar man.
Yeah, like
Wow.
it's wild. And so Tombstone was actually a huge one for me because I met two paranormal Navajo brothers and they were telling me that they weren't getting any luck with things either. So they had to like use their like native language to talk to the ancestral energy there. So that's a whole thing on that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, it's
It's like a different plane.
yeah, you have
Wow.
to use. That's why it's important to like, and that's why I'm in this space is because it's so important to bring culture in the paranormal because part of the paranormal and ghost stories is culture, history, and identity, right? And a lot of these spaces don't have people that look like me or like us in this space.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, unfortunately, white men, and that doesn't really help because there's other stories that maybe spirits want to come out and say. And
Because they won't
Yeah.
contact them. Like, imagine a show with like Native American folklore,
yeah,
like Mythbusters, but just Native
I think they're
American.
cool. I
Yeah,
love
that'd be
that.
so crazy. Because I was doing a little bit of research on like
Yeah.
Mexican folklore compared to like American folklore, and I
Yeah.
realized that it's a lot of Native American folklore that's not.
Yes.
It's not like just U.S. based. It's like super Native
Yes.
American.
Oh,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Isn't Tombstone where that famous shootout happened? where between
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
no, it was like there's even a movie about it called Tombstone as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so did you go to that certain? Because I know there's that certain spot behind like a saloon or something like that. I forgot
Yeah,
where.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it's like
a,
the alley.
Yeah, it's an alleyway. Did you happen to go to that area and try to see something or try
We
to?
went to
feel
the
something?
Boot Hill Cemetery, so
Okay.
that's where a lot of those people are buried.
Mm-hmm.
We went there. We went to 2 different saloons, and so that's where it got wild. And I met the Navajo paranormal investigators because there was spirits there that didn't like them, and the polter script that I had. Sorry, it's obvious in a polter script. I mean, again, that's like generating text messages, and I have it on video. And my husband's looking at it. He's like, "Who's David?" And one of the Navajo brothers, his native name, he uses Hero,
Mm-hmm.
but his birth name is David.
Hmm.
And so it said, "David, fight me."
Whoa.
And so, yeah, like the spirits try to attack them and all this stuff. And it literally said his name. And like that, I can't make that up. It's on video.
Wow.
Like that, if there's moments in life where I get skeptical, but those are moments in life where I'm like, no, this is real.
Yeah.
They're like, they don't like them.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's been the scariest experience
Yeah.
you've gone through?
Oh gosh. So the episode isn't out yet, but I went to Corpus Christi, and I got to see Selena's cemetery, but
Oh, nice.
gravesite. But we were there for this World War II ship, and it's called the Lexington. Everyone knows the Queen Mary here, but no one talks about other haunted ships. So this is a World War II ship, and this is where like they've had like Japanese prisoners, and they've had all kinds
Oh.
of things there. And I had to go up where the kamikaze pilot hit, and I had to be there by myself. They left me up there by myself, and I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, oh my gosh. And so I think that was scary because I was literally feeling all kinds of emotions with that. But what's even interesting is once I like calmed myself down and I started doing a tarot reading spread, is where I got that the pilot was like feeling justified. Like, I'm proud of what I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like that was kind of scary because again, like you're up there by yourself and you're like, what am I gonna get? This is like a very
Yeah.
intense moment. I normally don't get as scared anymore just because of me doing this for such a long time, I
Yeah.
think. I've had people ask me like, well, how do you protect yourself from getting possessed? And I'm like, well, one of the things for me personally, and something I always tell people, I was even telling someone in Salem this because I met someone that she goes and live streams and she does things by herself, and she got possessed at the axe murder house, which I heard
Yep.
that's an intense place.
What? Like,
Yeah.
Damn it, what's the girl's names? You're talking about
Oh gosh,
something Borden, right?
Not the Lizzie Borden house.
Lizzie
It's like
Borden,
the
maybe, I'm
axe
sorry.
murder house where like I think that's what it. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that one.
Lizzie
I always
Borden,
get them
right?
confused, but it's the one in Iowa. And I've heard a lot of intense things about there. I've had a friend of mine, her hair got tugged, and it's on camera. The other girl was telling me she got possessed and she almost hurt somebody there. And someone had to like snap her out of it. And I it's something that like I'm really grateful that my husband is like 1,000% a believer and we're both on the same page with things, because for me personally as a Latina, like I think it's so important to really be in touch with a form of identity, but also like a practice, right? Like I think a lot of in our culture is like brujeria, santeria, all, being curandismo and all the stuff. And for me over the years, I've realized that that's something I have had to channel into. And before I even go anywhere, I usually visit a botanica too, and I'll ask them like, so, what are you sensing? Like, what do you want? What should I get? And so before we went to a place, there was this one guy, he was telling me like, okay, you need to pray to Oya. And that's from like the 7 orishas and stuff. And he's like, 7 coins, give them an offering, he'll protect you. That's all you got to do. You just got to call on him, bring tequila, bring rum, and 7 coins, and he'll open that pathway for you, but nothing will come to you. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that spirits, even before I started doing any of that, will protect you from things. And so that's what I do. I basically like leave an offering before I leave, like, okay, thank you for protecting me, bye, and that's it. And I always come in a space of respect too. Like before I enter a space, I always let them know like, hey, I don't mean any harm. I just want to tell your story if that's okay. I just want consent. And that's another thing. I always do everything with consent. And I think that's what's done me good, honestly.
That's good.
Like,
Yeah. Like I was a respectful person.
Yeah, respect.
That's
yeah,
what-
respect
You're not just
the-
walking
the
somewhere.
elders.
Hey, talk to me right now.
Make it ring,
Yes.
make it ring.
That's why whenever
Ring this bell.
we had this thing with like where we used to go ghost vibing and not ghost hunting.
Not ghost hunting.
Because
Ghost vibing, yeah.
ghost hunting seemed very, very direct and very attacked.
We're trying to fight
So
them.
we told the ghost like, "Yo, we're here just to vibe,
I love
ghost
that.
vibing."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We probably weren't talking to anything.
Baby.
Honestly.
but
We don't have the same skills.
We don't have the
It
same
was a fun
skills.
time.
All we did was almost get in a fight in the car. That was about it.
Over. Yeah, that was a funny.
We're
I have
trying to
a
invoke. Can you? Okay, so this is a real question. Can you invoke like evil spirits like
with bad energy.
Because we were like trying to create bad energy, and so we
On
were trying to
purpose.
fight.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then at some point we did almost start like someone started to
we
pull
started
over the
getting
car.
personal.
Yeah.
Started roasting each other, so
It
it
went
got a
too
little
far.
heated. Yeah.
But
So
could that have actually brought in like negative energy, or would that?
Oh
would that
yeah,
not matter?
like
Oh,
I'm
shit.
a big believer that like your energy and your vibe can manifest things. So for the Halloween special I did last year, we went to the Leonis Adobe, and that's in Calabasas, California. And the whole story there is about this indigenous Chumash woman who also spoke Spanish. Her name was Espiritu, and she was so nice to me. Okay, like people have said that she's intense, she's mean. I'm like, oh, she was nice to me. Maybe because I was speaking in Spanish.
10 out of
and-
10.
Probably. That always
Like,
helps.
yeah. You get better deals everywhere.
You get better deals, better
Spanish.
treatment
Yeah.
because they
Yelp
help you with the
review
beehive.
10 out of 10 vibes.
Oh yeah.
Like I felt her love. And the other two ladies, they're great too, but they're a lot more adrenaline. I would say they're more adrenaline junkies. They want to like evoke something, and so they were taunting Miguel, who is like he was the asshole husband essentially, who like left her nothing before he died, and so she had to fight for that property that belonged to her. And but they like one of the girls got scratched, but she was like, I want to be scratched. Like I call her like a Harley Quinn. She's like, I want to get scratched because we did a seance, and again, the whole time I'm like being positive. I was listening to like K-pop when we were not filming to keep my vibrations like positivity. And like,
Super shy.
yeah, I was literally doing like all kinds of music stuff. Yeah, I was like listening to K-pop. I was like, yep, this is my jam. I gotta raise my vibrations, gotta dance out my my fears. And like that's why I'm saying like music is actually a very powerful tool that most people overlook to shift your like vibrations and also shake out any fear. Like, because again, we spoke about this earlier when I walked in, like, oh my God, it knows I'm afraid. Now it's gonna see.
Yeah.
Right? So like music is a great way to like diffuse that too. And I do that in between things. So yeah.
Oh, I went a yellow, huh? That's
It's
weird.
almost going yellow, dude. It's been, ever since we started talking right now, this has been happening.
Cause she brought like when I first met him, like outside when I first met Johnny, she came out the car. She's like, "Oh, want me to bring out my haunted doll?" And I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh wait, now I'm afraid. Now he knows I'm afraid. Now he's like, it was like I was just so in my head." But then we came in, we started listening to music, and I feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he
You're
keeps
cool,
his,
Johnny.
he keeps his.
Yeah, I keep looking down at the radar. Just like,
Johnny's cool.
Yeah. So the girl wanted to get scratched,
And she got
and
scratched.
she got scratched because she was taunting Miguel.
Yeah, well, part of it was also like I know for one of them, well, actually both of them, that's their way of getting actual evidence is by getting attacked or getting something, which kudos to them, honestly. Like that's a whole different bravery that I could never, I don't think I could ever master. I think because I have my own way of going about it. And I think that's why we balance each other out. But yeah, they were like all things, but one of them was like, Miguel, you're this, you're that.
Oh, man.
You're machista, tóxico,
Yeah,
no sirves para nada. He's like, you sound like my wife.
Miguel came out. He sound like my wife.
Keep your,
Yeah, they should have just done that. They should have just done that, to be honest. I know how to trigger a machista.
You know.
We need to bring you on next time. Like,
Yeah,
hey, let's
yeah.
taunt this guy.
Yeah.
I have a two-parter question for you.
Yeah.
What is the most like damning evidence you were like this? Like no one could take this away from me. This is 100% true. That you're like, if I show this to anyone, perfect, even non-believers. And two, what is the location that you've seen the most activity that you've been to?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so the first part is actually, I'm going to take it away from paranormal investigations because this one is the one that shook me to my core. So I used to be an atheist. Like I was not a believer of anything, no afterlife. I was a very skeptical person. And even now, like I do practice healthy skepticism, even though I'm in the space, like, because I know there's a lot of frauds in this space and stuff. But before I even got into this space, I actually had met up with a friend of mine. So I lived in Minnesota. I had a friend that died in a plane crash in 2007. and somebody found me on Facebook at the time because Facebook was a thing. And she's like, oh my God, you moved to Denver. So did I. Can we meet up and have a conversation about our deceased friend? Her birthday's coming up. I'm like, sure. What a weird coincidence. So I went to pick her up, and I didn't know this, but her parents, I'm going to say that they're a lesbian couple for people to understand why I'm saying she and her partner, because sometimes people get confused. I don't like to point out those things, but just for context. So they're her parents, her mom and her stepmom, and they're both psychic mediums. I did not know this because I wasn't close to her in high school. I knew her because we had that mutual friend that died, but we weren't like hanging out or texting, nothing like that. So I went to her house, and her mom like walks up to me, and she starts being a little bit weird. I love you, Kathy, if you hear this, but but she's like, "Do you have a brother?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have brothers. You might be confusing me for someone. I don't have family here in Denver. I just moved out here." And she's like, "No, that's not it." I'm like, "Okay." And then like my friend, she's like, "Oh my God, my mom's being weird." I'm like, "What? You're scaring me now. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, does she have something? What's wrong? Why is she being weird?" And she's like, "Nothing. Let's just go." And then her mom comes back. She's like, "I got it. Your mom had a miscarriage. Your mom had a miscarriage, and her brother, you would have had a brother, and he's here to say hi to you." And I'm like, "What? Okay, weird." But that wasn't enough to convince me, though. Like, that's how much of like hardcore, like I did nothing into that, right? And keep in mind, this is back in 2010, so it's not like devices and cell phones where you can look up somebody like that. And like also, why would a miscarriage and like a boy be like online, like
that's something.
Right? So that was weird, but this is the part where it gets weirder. So my mom calls me, and I'm like telling her, I'm like, "Mom, like this lady said this and it's kind of weird." And my mom's like, she started getting emotional. She's like, "Oh my God, please go back, go talk to them. Yes, I had two of them. One of them was a miscarriage, and one of them died at 6 months after I had him. Like I would have had 2 boys before I had you 3 girls, because my mom had 3 girls."
Dang.
And I'm like, "Mom, I don't want to talk to these people." I'm like, "Sure," because I was like, well, she was having her moment. I was like, not phased by it.
Yeah.
And so we went and got coffee, came back. I went to sit down with her mom and her mom's partner, Percy. And I say Percy by name because she passed away, and she's a phenomenal woman. So she was a phenomenal woman, is a phenomenal woman. And so I sat down with them, and I said, "Hey, my mom has a question for you guys." And Percy immediately looked at me side eye. She's like, "Oh, you're the skeptical person. You're here to test us. Okay, come sit down." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So we sit down. Long story short, she gets to this part of the reading where she says to me, "Your mom had a deceased brother. He was 21 years old. He was in the military in El Salvador. The body was never retrieved. He was shot in the the right ear." And I was like, "No, that's not true. My mom would have told me of that." She's like, "No, it is true. You need to ask your mom." I was like, "Okay, this woman is full of herself." So I went home, I called my mom, and I said, "Hey, so this is what they said." And I got to the part of the brother. She got really emotional. She's like, "That's my younger brother, Ovidio. He died. We never received the body." And I was like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
What? I would have never, I didn't even know that. How could I give her that information?"
Yeah.
So that to me, like, I can't, unfortunately, don't have evidence of that, but we have witnesses that were in that reading to like say, yes, that did happen. And that's what made me a believer, essentially. That reading alone.
Yeah, big time.
I recently had an experience like that. Are you familiar with AJ Barrera?
Yes, yeah.
So he was at I used to work at Me Too, and he pulled up to the Me Too studios.
Oh, cool.
And he was doing like he did a show with the host there. And then he shook he had like a reading for one of the hosts that he didn't want to say like on camera. And then so everybody was like, "Yo, what the heck was going on?" But he's like, "I want to talk to you afterwards." So after the show, he put him to the side. He took him outside. Yeah. And when he came back, so this guy, he's a comedian, super hilarious. This guy's always super fun and jumping around.
Skeptical.
When he came back, he was pale. And he sat next to me. He's like, "Bro, I have no idea I have not told anybody."
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And after that, I was like, okay, there's something, is for sure. This is a real thing.
Yeah. I've seen him in a lot of things. I've never met him in person, but I saw him do a crowd reading for one of a movie screening. And it was for, I think it was Insidious, one of the Insidious movies. And he was good. Like he made somebody cry in the crowd and everything.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. But sorry, going back to your second part, the most haunted place. Oh gosh. Okay, so this one is a little bit controversial only because I've spoken to a person who debunked a lot of the stories there, but I experienced those things, and I've had other people experience those things. So it's the Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana. It's about an hour north, I think, or an hour away from New Orleans, I'll say, because I don't know my directions. Sorry, if anyone's from Louisiana. But we went there, and I had things from my ear getting yanked, and there
Wow.
was no one behind me. What had happened is we were doing a tour because you're not allowed to take photos or anything like that there either. So we were in the room where they feel the handprints, and apparently like handprints show up on the bed or something like that. And my husband was wanting to get close to like look at the bed because there was a crowd of people, and I was like by the door. I was like away from everybody, and the guy was getting ready to tell the story about this slave that haunts the Myrtles Plantation, and her ear gets cut off. I had no idea at the point. Okay, I had no idea. Her name is Chloe, I think. Her he was getting to that point, and then something yanked my ear, and I was like, literally, the door is like right behind me, like
Yeah.
fuck
Oh.
happened, and I was like, okay, that's weird. I was like, what? And I'm looking at my husband, he's like way ahead of me, and I'm like, okay, like this is not him, and he wouldn't like he doesn't play pranks on me like
Yeah.
that. So I was like, what? So then we get to the other room, and this is the room where they say that like apparently the owner got shot in the heart. Again, I didn't know the story there. I just felt like a piercing, like chest, like piercing pain on my chest. And I was like, okay, maybe there's like my anxiety happening. Like I'm
Mhm.
feeling all kinds of things. And he's like, yeah, you know, this is where like the owner opened the door and he got shot. But again, these stories are like kind of debunked.
Yeah.
But I'll get to the theory on that. And then we were in the psychic room, and the guy was like looking at us, but behind him is a mirror above the fireplace. It's not the haunted mirror, it's just a mirror that's above the fireplace. And I saw a shadow person get up and like walk away. I'm like, what the heck is happening here? Like this is I don't like this. I've never had this much activity.
Yeah.
And even when I pulled up to the property, I thought I saw a person hanging from a tree. So my husband had to like take me
Wow.
across the street and get me water.
Wow.
He's like, maybe you're just anxiety. I was like, maybe, but I was actually really excited to go visit
Yeah.
like a haunted plantation. And so for me to feel that way, that was kind of like not the norm. So yeah, that was to me, I didn't like that. And so fast forward, I meet somebody, she's also a paranormal investigator, and she said, well, those stories haven't been confirmed. Like Chloe was never confirmed. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, my take on that is slaves can manifest in many different ways. Like you can't log a slave accurately. Like back then they didn't care about slaves. They didn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
accurately even give them the name even. So that might be one thing. But my second take is that when a story gets told so many times, that becomes like a residual energy. It's like a tape recorder playing over and over again, and then people give in energy to that, and so it starts
You're
to
building it,
manifest.
yeah.
So that could be another thing that I was experiencing, but I was like, that was not fun for me. I was like,
Sheesh.
what is this?
Yeah.
So yeah, Myrtles Plantation, you have to check it
Myrtles
out.
For
Plantation.
sure.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for someone who's got like their house is haunted?
Mhm.
What should be the steps that they should take?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's a couple of different things. I would always say definitely call a specialist who can communicate and do a series of things, but just to even just give an idea of what could be happening. So sometimes it's as little as owning a old heirloom, an antique of something that is very precious to that spirit, and it might be collecting dust, and so that spirit is getting upset and start causing things to go off in your home.
Yeah.
So it might be something as simple as that, like having an antique and it's just collecting dust and maybe not taking care of it. Like
Clean it,
yeah,
limpia.
clean it up, clean up. Yeah, it's like literally that's why you want to keep your place nice and nice. Basically, like not saying no clean, but
Yeah, yeah.
definitely keep your place
Don't let it get dusty,
Tidy.
musty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
tidy. Yeah. So that could be a thing. Another thing too is sometimes people buy old houses and they don't bother to look into like the basement or the basement or the attic, and there's old things there too, which kind of falls into what I was saying earlier about like collecting dust and all these things. The second thing is also like people having attachments, which I think that's more, in my opinion, more rare. I know that's like also another controversial thing, but I'm just gonna say it. In my experience, I think that spirits, because the reason why they're still here is because there's a purpose. Like in this case, he just got really happy with Disney things and stayed here for however long. And I think his grandmother passing, and he might have had family too that are still in this lifetime, and that's probably why he's attached to the doll, right? I don't know, but they get attached to certain things, and so that's another reason why you should be careful what you bring in your home, right? The other thing too, and this is something that I've told people: when you are mourning somebody, you have to grieve and you have to take care of your grieving. Like you don't want to hold on to that past. I don't know if you guys do this, but I know for my family, I'm Salvadorian. We do this thing where we pray for like I think 7 to 10 years for an individual, and we do it for 10 days after they die. So certain like Latino households have this thing when people die, even like Day of the Dead, we have like a altar for people, right? Like I know for us, we call it Saints Day. So we have ways of honoring the dead, but if you take that to the extreme that you cannot let go of this person passing, they'll stay with you.
Yeah.
And that they'll never be able to pass on. So that's why we have to grieve very healthy, you
Yeah.
know, I guess as healthy as you can. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. So that might be another thing too. There's some people that are just so depressed and they can't let go of whoever they lost, and that can bring in manifestation in the house as well.
I have a story from like
Yeah.
my grandma similar to that, because
Yeah.
like one of my uncles passed away. Like let's say like it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like a little kid, right? And my grandma was like mourning him and stuff like that, right? And for a long time, kept doing it. She kept having dreams of him, like in her dreams and
wow.
dreams and dreams. And she's told me that like one time she's just like, she was tired of like every day just feeling horrible, sad and stuff.
Mhm.
And like she was also like, she kind of realized that she's not letting him rest because
Mhm.
she keeps on like
Mhm.
evoking him. And like she said that in one of her dreams, she just was like, I'm gonna let you rest.
Yeah.
And from then on, it stopped.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still get like shivers like when she told me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's different ways of why hauntings happen. It could be like not letting go of the deceased or a loved one, holding onto old heirlooms that you're not taking care of. The house in itself, there's also the most famous one is like the house, right? People holding attachments to the physical house in itself. And so I guess like there's that. And then the other one is I was speaking to somebody that was possessed by they call it the seventh. There's three.
Seven dwarfs.
Seven dwarfs. I wish. There's like 3 to 4 stages. I forgot what he was saying. There's different stages of possession.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen overnight. It's not like, you know, The Exorcist where you're possessed. Here you are. It's different stages. And apparently when you start to feel so depressed, that's the last stage before it consumes you. So it gets you to the point where you're so depressed and you're so down in the dumps that like nothing just seems great that it possesses you. And that's the thing, you never know. You just could see it as being depressed. And so that's another thing that's the attachment part. But going back to the house thing, yeah, for me, when I go into a house, because I bought a house from an elderly couple, a 97-year-old woman had lived there by herself still when she sold the house. And apparently her husband had died. But I knew her husband. That's another story. I knew her husband had died. That's the weird part. I didn't know her. I never met the lady.
Oh, like it's something you just picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So we bought a house and it was a cute little house and I just fell in love with it because of like the location and everything. And like I knew that an elderly lady had lived there, but I knew that the husband wasn't there. And then later on, like we're talking to the realtor and they're like, yeah, she's a 97-year-old lady. And like her husband died 5 years ago and she can't live by herself anymore. So she's going to go live with like her final years with her son. And I'm like, oh my God. So one of the things that we did when we moved into the house is, and that's why I like to see the house too. But like when we moved in, we made sure that we did, you know, like sage and cleanse and salt and all these things. Smudge. Like I don't really do smudging because I know that's like, I know it's also Latino, but also an indigenous practice, and I try not to like promote so much smudging or anything because I know there's like with sage, you know, when like people carry on sage and like I have to sage this because sometimes that's actually an offering. It's not really cleansing. Yeah, people like.
I am going to throw those away behind you.
Oh wait,
But those are scent ones. No, those are different.
Okay, cool.
So sage essentially cleanses a space, but some people use it as an offering for like, you know, whatever they're working with. And by the way, Percy, the lady I mentioned earlier, she was an indigenous woman. So she taught me how to do all these things. And, but yeah, so that's one thing that most people don't know. That's why I try to use like salt. I do like a salt spray, rosemary. I do, Palo Santo. I do that. I do all kinds of different things. But overall, like when I walk into a space, and it's really just out there, the best thing you can do again is just like have these scents, open the door. Most people don't know this, but sometimes you can ask it, can I come? Can I share the space with you? Can you leave? Simply asking it. Like most people think it's like a whole ritual. No, sometimes it's just asking it to just go away. But also you can cleanse your space with like, again, you know, lighting some scents like I was mentioning and opening the windows and like you can do a prayer, you can do a whole thing like, you know, you're cleansing the space. This is your space. You setting the boundaries with the spirits because people forget that you're more powerful than the spirit. So Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah.
when you walked into my house, everything was cool, right?
Yeah, I think it was great. Yeah, it was good.
Honestly, that was my biggest fear of this whole episode. I was like, my biggest fear is that you come into the house and you were like, something's off.
What if she was like, I can't go in there?
Oh, that's
Oh,
scary.
that would have been funny.
That
You should have
happened
told
to
them
me.
that.
Yeah, that's
that happened to you before?
Were you like, I don't want to go in
Yeah.
there?
Well, this was like, okay, so remember I told you yesterday, we're having a conversation about the Ouija board and stuff. And I said, I just got back from the Ouija board museum.
Yeah.
So, and keep in mind too, that like, my husband is more afraid of Ouija boards than I am. I'm more open-minded to it now. I think there's like a stigma with Ouija boards. Like there's a whole, just anything. I think divination tools, whether it's tarot, people see the dowsing rods, right? Where they use
The two things like that?
the dowsing rods. So dowsing rods, pendulums, tarot, Ouija boards, those are all in the category of divination tools. They're all essentially like no different than this. Like this is essentially giving you a message. And I think people have the stigma, and rightfully so, with things. But when I went to the museum, we were in this little area and I was like, I don't like this space. Like I felt fine in the beginning, but then we got to the very back. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this. And then I saw a Stranger Things Ouija board.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cute. Let me try to take a picture. But something said, fuck off. And as I took the picture, it got blurry.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay. And so I like backed up and I backed up to like the boundary line. I was like, nope, it doesn't want me there. It doesn't want me there. And my husband like kept trying to take a picture because he didn't feel it right away. He was like, what? So he took a picture and it kept coming up blurry. We went to the collection owner, and we said, hey, what's the story with this Stranger Things board? Because I couldn't read what was the little placard thing there, because by the time we were trying to take a picture or something, just was not happy. And he smiled at me, he goes, oh, okay, you need to send me those pictures. Whatever is attached to it does not like its picture taken.
Oh no.
And so he like the fact that I didn't know that and he knew that. And so he brings everybody, because then he's like, oh my God, that reminds me to tell everybody about that Ouija board. So we all go to the back, but I was like, I'm not crossing this line. And I could tell that there's some people subconsciously not going past that line. Like, that's another theory too, how I know people can pick up on things without realizing it, because no one wanted to go near him. Everyone's like backing away. There was like maybe 3 kids or teenagers that got close to him, but everybody subconsciously just stayed away from him. That's the other thing too. So he starts telling the story about how they found a note with the Ouija board that said, please give this to the Ouija board collector. I'll give you $10, anything, but just, I'll even pay you to take it away from me. There was a note apparently that he received. And so he has it there in the museum to let people know that it doesn't have to be an old Ouija board. It can be something new. But he was experiencing bad luck. And next to it, which I didn't see this because it was behind like a skeleton thing that you have like that right there.
The one that keeps moving?
Yeah, the one that keeps moving. Kinda.
Yeah, it had a glass. It had a glass cage, and there was salt in it. So I couldn't see the Ouija board, but there was salt in it. And apparently that one was also really bad. Apparently everyone that's owned that one has had like death or fire or stuff like that.
What?
And he said that it's that room too that apparently people have experienced scratching and all this stuff because it's part of the other building, not the building that we were part of. And so that's when I was like, damn, so yeah, it did not want me in here. So that's why we're all on this other side of the room. Yeah.
Have you gone to visit like the Annabelle doll?
No, I mean, I
that
wouldn't
one, the one
mind,
that keeps
though.
moving too?
Oh, this one right here.
Keeps blinking?
She's just poking her eye.
Yeah,
It's
it's
poking
like-
out. No, I have not, but I wouldn't mind seeing her. But yeah, I think there's also another stigma with demonic energy. I don't really like to throw that word out either. I think after, again, being around energy so much, I don't believe in like good or bad. I just think that there's misunderstood things.
Gotcha.
And I like to call demons chaotic earth energy too, because it's like these spirits from the land that we don't understand because they're not human.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're demons. They just don't know what they are. They're
Gotcha.
probably protectors of whatever it is that they're.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to Johnny. Earlier you said he was blinking. Or was that just a joke you said?
Oh, like the light blinking?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't think she meant his
I thought you meant
eyes.
the eyes. I was like,
I don't think
so. Ever since he
meant
said
the
that, I kept
monitor.
looking at his eyes, trying to catch him blink. I was like, this man blinking.
I kept on wondering what he was staring at. I was like, what do you keep looking at the doll for?
So what are some times that you've seen Johnny like do like something?
Yeah. So when I first received Johnny,
My bad.
It's been
been
an hour and you've been thinking about the exact
Yeah.
same thing.
He's like, when is this dog gonna play,
Yeah,
dude?
He's like blink.
Oh,
okay,
man.
I'd be happy if he did.
Yeah.
But okay, so the things that he did. So when I first restayed him, I mentioned that like I felt something flick my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew it was him. But then when I brought him home, we had one of the lights go off on us in the kitchen, and then I did see like a shadow person in the kitchen, and I had him visit me in my dream. Let me get my water. See, now I'm like dehydrated. But so that's when I was like, okay, I need to set a boundary with you, Johnny. Like, I know that you are happy to be out of that store, but you can't come visit me in my dreams and
Oh,
make things
interesting.
move around.
Oh, Johnny.
That's a cool, yeah, with ghosts is really all about communication.
It's all about communication.
Just like
It's
it is.
always been
It's always been-
communication.
What is it? The secret of life is
Yeah,
communication.
secret of life is communication.
Yeah, dang.
It is. Yeah, I mean, like, that's really what I did. And then also, just in case, though, I did put salt on the shelf that I have him on so he won't cross the salt line. So I've done that. I've recently taken the salt off and he's been fine. So I
Cool.
think he gets it. But
Nice. Good job.
Why do you guys use salt? What's up? Sorry,
Salt-
we're really new to this.
No, you're good. Salt is like basically they use it in like magic and like, you know, in the spiritual realm to like cleanse energy, to protect energy, to put a line across. Like, okay, I've been watching Hocus Pocus because I went
Nice.
to Salem.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
have you guys ever seen Hocus Pocus where she puts the
Yeah, she
circle?
puts salt around them so
Yeah.
they don't cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like setting a boundary.
Oh, okay.
I've seen people in live streams where they own haunted dolls and they put salt at the entrance of the doorway so it won't go on the other side.
Okay.
So yeah, there's little things like that.
Does it lead to like crystal, like other crystal work? Because like salt is a crystal, so it's a, like. Is that like a reason
Great
behind
connection.
it? Like it's like
yeah,
energy.
I
type
would
of
say
thing?
so. Yeah,
Ah.
I would say so. But also, again, I'm really big believer of like communication, setting intentions,
Setting boundaries.
Yeah, setting
boundaries.
boundaries. Yeah.
So you have a good relationship with your ghost. You have a good relationship with anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why does salt work? Like, what's the magic behind that?
I think it's because it's just something it's from the earth. So it's the element of earth. So here's another thing too that I tend to also try to bring into a lot of the things that I do is the elements of the planet. So you have like water, you have earth, you have air, and you have fire. I use the sun as the element of fire. You don't need to set up everything as a fire. So I use those things. Like I have a spray that I had it sit in sun and it has water and it has rosemary and salt. And so salt is just something that's like a very pure thing that people assume or associate with, you know, the intention of protection. But also, I'm sure there's more to it too, but also I'm a big believer that like prayer, people do prayer and blessings. Like if you really strongly believe in it, you can also set those boundaries for yourself. Sometimes
Like
you
the
just
energy.
need something to like really help you like set those boundaries and make sure that you feel protected and so forth.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
Aw.
Johnny's part of your family?
I do. He's so nice. Like he's very nice, and like I think it's really cute how he gets happy that I bring. Like I'm a Disney person myself, so it's really ironic that I have a haunted like again. But so I think it works out. Like he's just really sweet, and it. But I don't know if I could own like anything else that's more active. Of course. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I notice you have a little puppy, a little dog. Does the dog sense Johnny at times?
So I haven't had him in that part of the house yet because he's in the destructive mode of puppy
Oh.
phase. Yeah, so he's like with us in the living
Ooh.
room and our bedroom. I have him in my office room, so he's
Cool.
not there because I know he's gonna chew up a lot of things.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So, but I had another dog who recently passed away from cancer, and for BuzzFeed we did this like fun little video where we didn't know which doll was haunted and we swapped them. So one person had a doll and I had another doll and we didn't know which one was haunted. We just had to like do equipment with it and guess and all this stuff. And the doll that we had, and this was a big learning lesson for me, I've noticed that elderly spirits have different energy to them. They have a very quiet and very like gentle thing. And I kept saying, I feel cozy, I feel this. And my dog kept like booping the doll, and he doesn't really boop my like any porcelain dolls. He likes his little squishies, but he doesn't like toys like that. And he was already 7, so it's not like he's in that destructive mode. But he kept booping it, and my friend that was doing it with me, and he had the doll. On his first day, his cat kept coming up to it, and when we finally got the reveal which one was haunted, it was that doll. And apparently, that doll was like an elderly man that loves animals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He's petting him.
No, yeah, right?
Yeah. Like it's really cute. Yeah.
Oh.
So we have this segment on our show, called Take the Fright, where people will leave in. Well, now they're leaving in all their spooky stories. So if you guys are ready, we can read some spooky stories.
Yeah.
So first one. If you have any spooky stories, make sure you leave it down below and take the fright form.
This is the last week.
Is this last week?
Mhm.
Oh, dang. So make them spooky, make them scary. All right. First one. Hi, friends. It's me again. So I previously shared I attract a lot of paranormal energies and see some stuff. The summer of 2016, my uncle had passed and my family traveled to Mexico for his funeral. I stayed back home alone since I worked 2 jobs and had school, and honestly, I don't know how to deal with death. So my mind was like, I need to just focus on the grind to not feel it through. When my parents left, I would feel a presence. I felt like someone was always in the room I was in. I would even take a nap and feel my back get really cold out of nowhere. It was summertime, so I knew it was something else, not just me being crazy. One day, I had came back from working a 12-hour shift and wanted to sleep when I felt the presence, and I was like, déjame dormir, por favor. Vengo bien cansada del trabajo, and sure enough, I didn't feel the presence. That same night, I woke up to use the restroom, and when I turned off the lights, I saw a figure, and I was oddly not scared. So I was like, Tío, ya te puedes ir, descansa en paz. And sure enough, I slept. The next day, my best friend came over and told him about everything, and I was like, my uncle has been visiting me, and he was skeptical. I kept doing my hair while we were catching up, and I stopped and I was like, oh, I feel his presence again. And my friend was like, you're tripping. And sure enough, when he said that, he saw what looked like a ball of light go down the stairs, hit the downstairs window blinds, and I was like, you see, I told you he was here. So my friends tried to debunk it and was like, oh, the blind probably moved because the windows were open, and he checked and they were all closed. His next guess was someone got in the house. So we searched, and sure enough, all the doors were locked and no one else was in the house. He then looked at me and was like, yeah, I started to feel really cold behind my back right before you said he was here. And I was like, yeah, he's harmless. I think he just wants to say bye before he leaves. I stopped feeling his presence once he was buried. I still see him when I feel a little lost or sad. He shows up in the form of a white butterfly or a hummingbird. Oh, that's so nice. So we need more. I feel like when people talk about like ghosts, it's always come scary and negative. But I think it should be turned into something like positive. Oh, they're just...
It's all communication.
Yeah, it's all communication.
No, I love that because I've heard of people in the past talking about how they know their loved one is there in a form of like butterflies or birds or like, you know, like things that they loved in this lifetime. They see it a lot of that. Like if they're a penny collector, they'll see like pennies everywhere or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what I honestly, when my dog passed away, because he had like a fascination with birds. I would notice a lot of birds just kind of just chill by the window. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I was like, it's my dog right there.
I love that.
All right, let's see. Let me see. Okay, I think we can do this. All right, first one. Second one. So I've never experienced. Well, hello from MKE or Mikey. I don't know. My MKE.
Okay.
MK. So I've never experienced sleep paralysis, and so I started my freshman year of college. I was told it was because of stress, eating, mood swings, and eating late at night. But I personally think someone was giving me a lojo. Regardless, I strayed away from laying on my back, since I would get sleep paralysis with laying on my back. So on October 3rd, I celebrated my birthday. My brother left to travel for work, and he would be coming back around the 5th. So as I was getting ready for school, mind you, everyone leaves work early while I stay at home until I have class, which is around 10 p.m. I was home cleaning, then decided to take a short nap. I laid down on the couch, my back towards the rest of the sala, living room. I knocked out, and then I heard someone struggling with opening the door. My brother tends to struggle, so I went to get up and open the door for him, but I couldn't move. That's when it hit me. I'm having sleep paralysis. So I calmly waited to wake up, but I couldn't. I started to panic since I heard the door open. The person was talking, but I couldn't understand. Yet, like my brother, he tends to drop the keys on the table and his work bag on the floor. I just heard that. I heard him walk up the stairs, drop his stuff, and walk towards me. I was confused, thinking maybe it is my brother, but he doesn't come home soon. It's the 4th, not the 5th. And it's way too early in the morning for him to come home. I felt the person walk towards me, footsteps heavy. The energy shifted. The room got cold. I started to panic and I started to pray. I felt the person walk behind me. Again, my back facing the living room, so I can't see anything. They leaned over. I swear on my life, I felt a breath on my left ear side of my face. I remained still, and all I heard was, "Happy birthday," in a whisper. husky, scary tone ever. I sprung up so quickly, looked around and saw no one. I quickly got my stuff and left. The voice sounded so real, and so did the thing/person. Mind you, I live by 2 graveyards. They're extremely beautiful in the morning, just not at night. Love you all. Y'all so cute. Thank you.
I love the end. I love
Kiss,
the
kiss,
end.
kiss, 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 kiss.
Okay, so I have a theory with that. So you know how people talk about shadow people and sleep paralysis? So I have it's like a two-parter. So the first one is because she was seeing shadow, right? She said she saw shadow people.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a she. Sorry.
I think she, I hope.
Or they, sorry. But they were saying that they said happy birthday. So like, yeah, people associate shadow people as something scary, but sometimes it's the person not being able to develop their skill set to fully see that spirit in physical form. So all they can see is a silhouette or a shadow of a person. The second thing too is, you've seen Insidious? I mentioned that earlier. The idea that you can travel in your sleep, and so therefore, like, sometimes things can like take hold of you, or maybe you're just fully not in your body. There's that theory too. Now I understand that like sleep paralysis has been like quote scientifically proven, but also can we be just for real? Like, why is it that if it's been scientifically proven, why does everyone see the Hat Man or the shadow people?
Yeah, they all see kind of the same.
Yeah, it's like really
the same
creepy.
thing.
That
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Like on the roof or whatever?
Yeah, like the
I
Hat
see.
Man and all this stuff. So that's, I'm like, okay, come on. I feel like there is maybe like some science to it, and I believe in that stuff, of course. But I think it's really weird that people see like shadows or things or hear things when they're in sleep paralysis and they're wide awake. I mean, I thought I saw like maybe like the Hat Man when I had sleep paralysis. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's been in times in life where I have felt really sad or like had something intense in my life. So, and it's only been in one apartment when I lived in Denver. So
Interesting. I've had the most sleep paralysis I've ever got was when I moved here.
I'm sorry, it's because we know the story. Like, you beat up your ghost.
Yeah, I beat up my sleep paralysis.
You did?
Yeah.
Like, tell her.
I'm not even lying.
She
Like,
never came back.
yeah, she never came back after that. But I remember I have my room's not even there, but I have a guest room. I would sleep in the guest room sometimes, and every time I would sleep in the guest room, I
Yeah.
get sleep paralysis there every single time.
Oh my gosh.
And then to the one point where I just got so fed up with it, and my sleep paralysis was a scary ass
I'm
thing.
sure.
It was super like
She
it was
looked
a
like
whole
the,
thing.
like, what does she look like? The
nun. Literally the
she
nun.
looked like the nun.
Literally
my
like the
God.
nun, just like no nose. And then so I remember at one point I was just like, I remember waking up and I'm like, here it goes again. To the point where it's gonna sound silly,
Yeah.
but I promise this is what happened. I remember I was like, oh my God, here it comes again. And I feel it on top of me. And I just like grab its neck
Yeah.
and like I turn it over and I start smashing its face with my elbow
Yeah.
to the point where like I'm just making like in my sleep, I'm making so much noise. My mom runs into the room and she wakes me up and I'm like, I get so afraid. I'm like, oh, what the heck? I was like, and then I just kind of started laughing because like, yo, am I crazy right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last time I had that sleep paralysis.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some comfort. So,
Thank
there. So
We believed you though, because I wore a nun costume that day. He told the story. He got scared when he turned around and saw me. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
about to punch you.
yeah, bro.
I don't know about the nun thing, but I will say that as far as like fighting spirits, that's a thing for like some indigenous tribes. They believe in spiritual combat, and like you
Yeah.
can die from like fighting a spirit. Yeah. There's a whole thing on that.
I'm
So-
1-0.
Fuck the YouTube boxing scene. I'm part of that
Yeah, yeah.
spiritual boxing scene,
Spiritual
baby.
boxing.
You turn to MMA artist, you're like, da.
Instead of ninja warriors,
Get on the people's elbow.
Spiritual warrior.
You turn into,
I
you're
put
like,
that in my bio.
I beat up a
1-0
ghost.
spiritual warrior.
I fought a spirit and lived.
Yeah. Oh dang.
oh
Yeah.
my
Oh, man.
God.
So I didn't quit.
So you can die if you fight him?
Yeah, so like going back earlier, I talked about like the spirits from like the two Navajo brothers in Tombstone.
Yeah.
They wear like padding and everything because they believe that you can fight the
Yeah.
spirit. Yeah, it's a thing. So
I saw it on a show. What was it called? Jack versus the Evil Dead or whatever. Evil Dead.
oh yeah.
Yeah. They show that little part where
Oh
like
my
he's
goodness.
fighting a
Spiritual.
spirit. So I guess it's like it comes from that. So
It's
that's
a
cool.
thing, yeah. It's or like the idea like with wands. You can like wands are like a tool to fight spirits, and apparently like indigenous folks were the ones using it years prior before like knowing that it's a thing and
Yeah.
witchcraft and whatnot. So
Some spirits are like, what about squabbles go? It's like, oh, dude, I came here to just
They
talk.
pull up with a wand is like a Glock.
well, it's like the one that was like fight me like that in the poltergeist it was like David fight me like he wanted to fight. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Damn, imagine
okay.
going to England, you're just fighting these like 17th century ghosts or something. Put thy hands up, sir.
I'm like, hold on, let me take a nap. Come out.
All right, cool. I think that wraps up the scary stuff. Everything else is kind of dating advice. We'll do that for another time.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
So thank you for sending in your spooky
Thank
stories.
y'all. These were scary.
That was a fun one.
That's great. So do you believe have you tapped into like Santeria and stuff like that, or mal de ojo? Like it's like because I one time thought like people were doing brujeria on me low key, and I was like, I'm about to do a limpia.
Yeah.
Have you heard like do those things actually like?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so one of the things that I haven't like, I'm not like hardcore like into like Santeria or anything like that. Like I know a lot about it though, because of what I do now, and like it's interesting since I moved to LA. I've had more friends in that community than any before.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But basically, like the misconceptions of like curses and the evil eye and all this stuff is that there's this ritual thing. Like I'm gonna get out la velas, the candles,
Get the egg, y todo eso, yeah.
and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna put a curse on you.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's more like, okay, so you know how they say you never want to wish, like you know how you're like, I hate that person, I want them dead. Like you never want to say those things because you're sending bad energy to those people. And it's important for people, like especially us, where we're in front of a camera and people are watching us, that like we do protect our space because like they can unintentionally, without realizing, send you bad juju. That's essentially what it is. It's not even a ritual. It's just sending you bad energy and all these things. And so the first step I always say is that if you feel like there's so much energy just pointed at you, like someone gave you the evil eye or anything like that, that you believe that you can break it. And part of that is like doing a limpia, right? I do this thing where I go to the shower and you know, what's it called? It's like the Epsom salt, but they have like a salt scrub now they can use. Like they have the sugar scrubs. I buy the salt scrubs now. And when I shower, I scrub myself with salt and I'm like imagining that any bad energy that people on the internet has sent to me, my neighbor, anybody, whoever, you know, I'm imagining them just removing all that energy and all that gunk off me. But yeah, especially for us, we're in a camera and people are watching you all the time. Like they are sending you bad energy.
A lot of haters.
Yeah.
Hate me.
Yeah.
Just playing.
Have a
After hearing everything, I was just playing.
Just kidding. I love you all.
I did something different. I kind of just like I was in my room like all alone. All right, I was just chilling and I was like, I'm tired of this. I was like, what's up? Like the other day, like what's up?
Yeah.
Like just send all your bad energy. Like fuck it, it is what it is. Like I'm done. I'm tired. Kind of like you. Like I was like I am tired.
To be part of the SFU, the spiritual fighting.
I was trying to join it. I was like, because the next day I had it off. The next day I had it off. I was literally like, I have time tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Like, this is gonna be the worst day ever, and nothing ever happened. Like, my life kind of just changed. I was like, maybe I had to be like, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
like I had to believe that I was gonna like beat it, I guess, or
Maybe
something.
be believing too that you're like stronger than that too.
Yeah.
Like also like feeling empowered because that's again anything that like you feel like you can break whatever it is that's being sent your way is again breaking that curse on you. Now a hex is different. That's actually somebody like putting like a sour jar or well not sour jar.
Like you have to eat it.
No, but like it's like a spell. Like it's a purposeful spell, like or a ritual on that person that they hate. Like maybe it could be eating. I don't know, but it could be. I've heard of that though, where people have done like
to fall in love, make people fall in
like
love.
put blood in your food and all that stuff. Yeah, I've heard of things like that. But no, I think it's important to know that you can break the cycle though. Like not many people, because people feel like, oh my god, I've been cursed and I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, don't feel helpless. Feel empowered. Like what makes you feel empowered? You know? Yeah.
Cool. I have a question. Do you think scary movies, horror films bring in negative energy to your house when you watch them?
Absolutely not. I think that horror movies are a way for us to deal with escapism and to deal with fear in a very healthy way. So I think that that's the misconception. I think that that's a reason why the horror genre is so popular is because it's a way for us to feel safe but experience fear in a way that we have control over. And in a way, I think it's an empowering way. I think it's a way to like make yourself feel like, okay, this is reality. I'm here. I'm safe. It's a reminder too. I mean, that's the way how I process it. But there's other people too that like maybe there's other things going on where, like I was saying earlier, they're already like have attachments, other things going on, plus watching this and letting it get to them. Yeah, you're probably opening the door for things, you know?
Yeah.
Do you ever see like horror films and be like, that's not how it goes? Like, that's not like how it works?
Talk to Me. I did a whole thing on that. Talk to Me. Yeah, Talk to Me was like, oh gosh. I loved it though. I love Talk to Me, but I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah, sorry, you had a question?
I did.
No,
it looked like you did. It looked like you were.
I probably forgot.
You're good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Well, I think that like movies play a lot on the occult to get people to be scared, like Ouija boards and stuff. But I think ultimately, there's a lot of exaggeration. Insidious is another one. I loved Insidious because it did have like essentially people don't realize this, but it's about a dad and his son, and they have psychic medium abilities or mediumship abilities at most. And but you're not going to be. It's going to take a lot for you to get pushed down the stairs. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get pushed down the stairs.
Just like by someone.
Yeah. Like this is a lot of work.
Like you gotta work to get pushed down the stairs. No one's gonna do it for free, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Though. Like it's a
Yeah,
lot of energy for spirits to manifest and like do that, right? And again, like we are in. This is our plane. This is our physical plane. They're not from this plane, so it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Even like the girl that I was with, where she's like, I want to get scratched, or she actually that's her slogan. I want to get pushed down the stairs by a demon, and that never happened. She got
She's
scratched.
toxic. She's toxic. Like, red flags.
Careful what you wish for.
Oh
So
man.
you mentioned earlier you got some stuff in your bag that you don't mind sharing with
Sure,
us?
yeah. I mean, but before that though, I do say that she is crazy, but she's like the sweetest person ever.
Okay.
my
Oh,
friend.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a cool little mix. You know?
It's that's how I like them. Push me down the
Nice to get
stairs, type of
scratched,
vibes,
eh?
and push down the stairs.
Okay, so I was
Push me down.
mentioning-
Is that her foreplay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I was mentioning a lot. Oops. The mic.
sorry.
Okay. So I had mentioned maybe I should put him down first, and then that way.
Aaron can hold
Does he need a chair?
Do you want to hold him?
Yeah, I'll hold him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
He's
hold him.
blinking a lot now. Oh, he's excited. He's blinking a lot.
Oh wow! Look at
I
that.
have my watch on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me take off my
Take off
watch.
your watch, take off your
I
watch.
don't wanna.
Here, toss it over here so it's far away.
Oh,
What
dang.
about
Sorry.
your phone? What about your phone?
It was good. It was a
My
good
phone is in the bag.
Oh, okay, cool,
Okay.
cool. Can you turn this way? I can't. Oh, dude, he's really excited. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, he's-
Okay, I'll move this out the way.
That's cool, man.
You went yellow. Yo.
He's happy to see you.
Hi, Johnny.
Okay, so this
It's
is
like you pass it to Aaron, it just turns off.
He gets up, opens the door, walks away.
Dog literally becomes alive. Just like, you know what? This guy ain't it. This guy's not it.
I'm not trying to chill.
I'll meet you at the car, Steffany. I'm done here.
It's like when the little kids and they want to leave the party, they're just lying sleeping on the
He's sleeping on that
You
chair, on that
you just see the
uncomfortable
two
chair.
chairs over there. When you lay them out, he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the party's over, man. I'm just gonna
Johnny
sleep right
Latino.
now.
Do you know?
no, he's not. I actually saw him as like a little Asian boy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is the polterscript. I kept mentioning it a lot throughout the conversation. So this is like where you can receive a text from the spirit, right? It has like a scary sound when it pops on.
Oh, I was like, is that the train or is that that?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
train.
the train. Yeah.
So that's what this looks like. And again, you can kind of see here, like there's no way that you can type in words or anything like that. I've had people say, like, you faked. I'm like, how can I fake something I can't even type in? And I
Wow.
have no control. It's like a randomizer thing. But you can do either alphabet or library. So this is, again, something that you can either receive a text from a spirit.
Cool.
I have the my dowsing rods with me, but I hope that they're both in here. There's this one, my gum. Yeah, so there's, oops. And another thing too, so like I like to bring this with me because you can use dowsing rods with this, and in a way it kind of looks like a Ouija board, does it not?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can use pendulums with it and all
Okay.
this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all divination tools. It's not anything like super scary, but yeah, you can like have it point towards like a yes, maybe, no. You can also like, I'll hold this, and like you want to make sure that you're sent. I love these tools because like you can center yourself, like ground yourself, so you're not. There you go. All right, can you point to where Johnny is?
Yo.
So there's that, right? There's like these tools, and you saw like I wasn't really moving it or anything. Like, or I mean, I can even do it like this, so you guys see I'm not moving it.
Can you ask her the same question again?
Yeah, can you show me where Johnny is? Oh, let's see, it's pointing that way, but we'll see. But yeah, can you show me yes? Can you show me no?
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm
So
not-
who's moving? Oh, then we went to Johnny. Who's moving it?
So the way I know people have different beliefs with it. I think that so divination tools are essentially like us asking ourselves for answers, but sometimes we can also, like in this case, I was asking the spirit. Like when I was like, Johnny, show me where you are. Like I was hoping that he would move it. But you can ask the spirit to move it, or you can ask. It's also your own intuition too, to like what you're picking up on.
Yeah. Can you ask him who's his favorite?
Who's his favorite? Okay.
Why
So
do you want to make this scarier for me, bro?
all right. So out of the guests here, Johnny, can you show me who is your favorite? I didn't even finish a sentence. It was just already pointing.
Caesar? Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, he's saying everyone. He's saying everyone.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
He
he's
has no
everyone. He's like,
favorite.
oh, yeah, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny.
I was not expecting that.
I want to mention to you, dude, by the way, when you know how we're like, when you literally
When I
cuddled
moved him
him
up
right
a
now,
little bit,
it went straight to yellow.
Whoa.
I'm just letting you know right now.
Me and Johnny are like
because you literally
this.
picked up his legs and you were literally like this, like if he was a baby, he literally yellow. I'm
Got
not
some
kidding.
twins.
We're twins like that.
Oh, I love
Twin
that.
Dang, this
and
is
then
wild.
I use like also like oracle cards. Like there's also the psychic tarot. So like these are really nice cards for beginners, I would say too, that want to tap into things because it has words on the actual card, and I tend to bring these more with me on things, so people can also see that I'm not making things up, and they can see the words. So if it says transformation, that's what it is. You know
Is
what I
it
mean?
possible for you to do a reading for us right now?
A reading? Sure. Let me see if I can.
There's gonna be so many clips of it about this podcast this time.
This is wild.
Dum, dum.
Yeah, I can move this.
Sorry, I don't want to like.
Here, dude, you put it here.
Okay, hopefully I can. I have my little blanket
How
that I
fun.
use. I think that's all I have in terms of. I didn't bring my pendulum. No, I did not. So, and then of course you have the K2 meter. So
She's
there's.
like, and it's like she brings out her what is it? To kill vampires? Steaks in the.
I know I have a steak.
Yeah. I didn't bring my steak just in case a vampire comes
Where's my
out.
garlic?
You know, some people use like cemetery dirt too to like from their ancestors to protect themselves and
Oh,
stuff.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can
Mhm,
see
that makes sense.
Yeah. Apparently it's illegal, so just make sure it's from
Oh.
like your relative. You know what I mean? Like, and
People randomly grabbing cemetery dirt.
You never done that, bro?
Nah.
No, I'm just playing.
I don't really go around cemeteries, you know?
Like every time I go, I just pick up a handful.
Do 'em on my
I was
face.
like, well, here's my souvenir for today.
Okay, I'll try my best as I can because I'm sitting here. But
Yeah.
who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
You want to go first?
I'm already. Let's go 100% in.
Yeah, we deep with Caesar right now.
Okay, so I want you to quickly close your eyes, and we're both going to close our eyes, and I want you to see a chord. We're going to be connected to each other, okay? And just say your name a few different times so I can just feel the energy.
Connected this way.
Yeah, towards me. Yep. And just give me your name, and actually give me your birthday if you can. Just you don't have to do the whole thing, just like your birthday and your name.
Out loud or in my mind?
Out loud.
Okay. Cesar, April 26, 1998.
All right. So, what message do we have for you?
Do I have to have my eyes closed right now?
No, you can just. I just wanted you to envision that we're connected as a cord.
Oh,
and I don't know if you feel anything. I feel it.
I
something.
feel that.
You
I feel like warm. I feel like very comfortable.
Whoa.
You
for some
felt it?
reason,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, that's always tell you because you can feel it when.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what?
She's
What?
just feeling a little cozy.
The cozy.
Let me see. And I'm gonna do a 3-card spread for you, just because I know we're in a time crunch.
Should she
And
put it closer to her, the mic? Or?
No, it should be fine.
Good?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
for sure. Just making sure.
okay, so for this, they're telling me that you need to pick out a couple of cards. So pick out 3
Oh.
cards.
Them.
Did I just pull them out?
Yep, pull them out.
Good job, Caesar.
3 cards. Perfect.
This is so wild, bro. This is so wild.
I know you were just.
Bro, I've never done any
I
of
know,
this.
I know. Wild.
So
I
what do
just
the cards
noticed it
have
was
for
like-
you? Okay, so this one is the first one that you pulled. Victory and success.
Yeah.
Discontent and boredom.
Oh,
And
damn.
obstacles and challenges. Okay, so it's saying that in the past, like you started off with like, and I feel like this is career-wise, since I guess we're here, I guess it makes sense. But you've like been really like excited, and you have been very like, I guess you started, and most of us do start off passionately about things and a vision and things. But in recent times, it feels like you've been feeling stagnant. Like, what is the next message for you or next chapter for you? And in a sense of like, okay, like I'm doing this and I'm happy with this, but like ultimately, what is the long-term vision? I kind of feel like I'm far away from that. And I feel like it's like, how do I get there? It's almost, so it's causing you boredom because it's almost like it's an out of reach thing, but you know, when people get like they see it there, but they're getting bored of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately what I'm getting to with this too, right? Makes sense. This is upside down, so this means that this might be like a longer journey for you, and this is like the outcome or what's going to happen in the near future. So in the near future, you're going to be dealing with like obstacles and challenges, and so in this oracle card here, we're seeing that like there's a path, but the path is being blocked by something. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in about in between 7 months, I'm seeing that you're going to be going through a challenge because again, since you're dealing with boredom, you kind of need to take yourself out of this boredom. And I'm seeing it's like, why am I seeing a book or like I guess book has like inner things that you're writing down. Have you been keeping things like okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say it out loud. So, but I'm seeing that you're dealing with an obstacle right now. So in the next 7 months, just make note of that. Make note of like, okay, writing things down and making sure that you stay focused on like, okay, this is the vision. Don't feel like you're far away from it. You have to stay focused because otherwise you're getting bored and it's gonna cause you a challenge in the next couple of months. Okay. Don't want to scare you.
That's
I'm just giving you a
crazy.
sense.
Have fun.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Oof.
Ready, so?
Yeah.
I'm last. I'm over here.
You wanna-
Okay,
you
I
want-
do.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and actually, so what I do, so I can remove my energy from your space. So I do this thing, and I always tell people this, like I'm saying goodbye, like thank you for the message. Goodbye. You can do it too, so we're not disconnected anymore. Sending it back. Okay.
Say bye.
Goodbye.
Okay. So you want to go next?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you again close your eyes. We're both gonna close our eyes. You're gonna imagine that you're connecting a cord to me. Okay, we're just connecting each other, like a computer or cord or something. Okay, I don't know if you feel any energy change, but I'm seeing some reservation. You gotta stay more calm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, here we go.
You know how you're supposed to open up your feelings?
He's the worst.
I'm the worst one opening.
That's why you gotta,
Alright, here we go.
yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a hesitation of plugging in. So you just calm, relax.
fact
It's gonna
you
be
even
okay.
knew that.
I'm not gonna give you any messages that you don't want. Okay, I'm never gonna do that. It's all consent. What you want me to know, what you want the cards to know. So, but just connect. Just take a minute. Okay, now I feel it. Now I'm feeling you. Okay, we're good. Okay, and then just say your name out loud and your birthday, and then I'm gonna shuffle the cards.
Saul Gomez, January 18, 1998.
Ooh, this one came out before I could. Here, what? Okay, well, I'm keeping that here as a side because again, the discontent card came out again.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
It doesn't mean what it
doesn't-
means
we'll
that
see what she-
to
we'll see
the
what she
people.
says.
It
Yeah,
means
yeah.
different per person.
Yeah.
No, I know. I just.
Okay.
Oh.
Like face value is different.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Again, I'm never gonna give you guys messages that you don't want me to know or anything. It's just more like what you should know. And again, I'll keep it as simple as what I just gave reading here. But yeah, I feel like your energy. You're very guarded. You're very guarded.
I
Yeah.
do feel like my chest a little like I'm like my heart's beating.
My
a little
chest
louder.
beating hard for you.
But like I feel like my chest is right here. Like I mean, my heart's like in my stomach.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I promise you. I will never do that. I don't give anything like fear or anything like that. Okay. Cool. So this was even harder for me to because I feel it. All right. So now I'm going to grab a couple of cards. I'm going to grab these and I'm going to give it to you. You're going to pick these cards out. Just don't look at them and then just get perfect. And then I will grab them. And again, I don't know why, but this one is also yelling at you too.
Okay.
So that's what that
All right,
meant.
we'll get to that one.
We'll get to that one. Yeah. Okay. This one's going first. Triumph and success. Financial material changes. And then you have this one upside down, recognition and reward. You guys are getting a lot of like career ones.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so it's similar to him. Like it's like you started off very passionate about things, like having a vision, and I feel like you go off by words of affirmation, meaning that or words of words of
Yeah.
affirmation. Like that's your love
my
language. Like
love
you love to get people to tell you like you're doing great. This is amazing, and you need that consistently. And I feel like in the past maybe that started off that way, and because of that, it's made you feel invisible. It's made you feel like okay, I have a vision. I can do all these things, and you've gained a lot of financial freedom. It's almost like you are meant to be the financial freedom, like karmic person in your family. Like it's almost like your family's had a lot of issues in the past with like financial things, but you've been the person that's breaking through that karmic debt. Like you're the first person to do a lot of things that your family has been able to do, and they've been proud of you for that. Does that resonate with you?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what that is. It's basically saying like you are here in the way you're kind of like not the black sheep, but you
But
feel like the black sheep.
The trailblazer.
Yeah,
Sure.
but you're a trailblazer. Like they see you that way, but you feel like the black sheep. Like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
did this? Why me? Is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing. So that's what I'm hearing with this card. Now this one is upside down. It's called recognition and reward, and it's the number 3. And we're gonna get to that in a second. So recognition rewards upside down. It means that in recent times, it feels like yes, while you've been doing a lot of things and you've been very making yourself making your goals come to life in recent times, like you've been feeling like now that you're here, it's like no one wants to check in on you anymore, and you feel
Dang.
like
I just told someone that like 2 days ago.
okay. So it feels like people are just kind of forgetting about you. Like, oh, he's fine. We don't need to check in on him. We don't need to say this. He knows he's got it. But you are missing that. Like, this is not where it used to be. So, so keep that in mind. But I think that you need to. There's 3 people in your life that you need to rely on, is what I'm hearing. So that's what the number 3 is. The number 3 stands for the core people in your life that you need to remind them that these are your needs and your wants. I know it's hard for you because I felt it even when I was like, hey, can we?
Yeah.
You need to remind them of that, the core people in your life.
Gotcha.
I think it's more family and a girlfriend.
Family and a girl?
Girl? Is it a girl?
Damn.
A future girl?
Is it
You're
a girl?
exposing me right now,
No,
Steph. No, I'm just kidding. Girl, dang, I don't know. I don't have
I
a
felt the
girlfriend.
female energy. I don't know, but we'll get, yeah. So that's 3 can be 3 months from now or the 3 core people. That's what I'm seeing. So
Interesting.
anyway, that's my message for you. Just remind
That's
the
so-
people in your life that you need that. Yeah.
That's
was a
good.
good
Thank
one,
you.
Yeah, of course.
It's crazy. I just posted this picture of this. It's a funny picture,
The
but
sad frog.
yeah, the sad frog.
And it was about a girl.
No, it wasn't about a girl. It's never been done. It hasn't been a girl. It was just like, but it kind of reminded me of that third card because it's like it's me going, man. It was weird.
Yeah.
That's a good reading. What about the one you said?
The one that shouts out.
Where
So
is that one
sometimes like
scary?
sometimes when cards like come out of a shuffle, it just like it's like your spirit guides.
It's like you don't need that one. Put it away.
No, it's more like remember, girl, tell him, remember to stay focused. So yeah, because
Cool.
you're disconnecting boredom. Same thing with him, like stay focused. So same message. So basically the message is like for you and for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, last one, Aaron.
Hey, if Aaron gets that card, we need to talk.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so
playing.
I'm gonna take a moment, close your eyes, just imagine that you're connecting with me. Oh, before we do that though, I'm gonna say
Oh,
goodbye to
yeah.
your energy. We're gonna say sorry, goodbye, thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna close our eyes and you're gonna imagine that you're plugging into me and I'm gonna be plugging into you. Okay, I'm just getting your consent with that. Oh, you're very, very, really easy. That was good.
I'm pretty easy.
But the costume.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Then just say your name and your birthday.
Aaron Caraveo, December 30th, 1997.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And I'm going to shuffle the cards. And I don't know if you guys notice it, but I notice like when we're connecting our energy, I feel it. Like I feel like a weight. Like I feel more anxiety with you, though. More butterflies, like flight with you. And with him, I was like, no.
Yeah, here's
What did mine feel? Mine was like,
It was like a comfort. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I feel comfort.
Okay,
I need a
I've
therapist.
been very nervous this whole time.
as soon as I got Johnny, I felt even more calm. I kind of like
Really?
squished down.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. I'm like having a hard time shuffling, but it's okay.
It's interesting how like the cards have like a different meaning,
Yeah.
Mm.
but they're spot
My heart's racing right now.
on. It's like when you're gonna get a shot before you go to the doctor's office or when you go to the dentist.
Okay.
Is there a time, like how many times you have to shuffle them?
No, whenever just cards feel right is what I normally do. And then, okay, so I'm going to have you also pick a couple of cards.
Okay.
No, you're good. Perfect. I'll put these here, and then you can just give those back to me. Thank you. Okay. All right. Oh, recognition or
Oh,
Yeah.
balance. and victory. Wow, you guys are getting very similar cards. Wow.
Yeah.
And I literally shuffled that for a while. So, okay, so for me, it feels like I'm kind of getting more of like, okay, same thing with purpose. So in the past, like you've always been a person where you kind of feel, I'm hearing the side character, like you kind of feel like a side character in your life. Like you kind of feel like you're hiding in the background. And in a way, like because it's happened your whole life, you feel like that's all you know and that's what you're comfortable with. And in recent times, it's like the universe, and I feel like there's an elderly woman in your life in the past, like in an ancestor. She's not in this realm, she's deceased. But she's telling me that like I feel like it's a grandmother, but I don't want to say it's a grandmother. It's even further, like not a current, but it's a further. That's how I'm seeing because she's really like tall and very angelic looking. But she's telling me that because of this hardship that you've had in your life, like feeling like you're not really meant to be someone that expresses yourself and your family. You're kind of like again like this invisible person per se. Like if you had a superpower, you'd be the invisible man. That's what I'm sensing. And so, but she's telling you that you need to start coming more into your skin more because of the fact that like you kind of let things slide off. You don't have enough balance in your life. You don't have enough, like it kind of feels like everything has been set for you, but that's not what you want for yourself. And I'm sensing this more in terms of relationships and like family dynamics, surprisingly. So it's saying that like, and it's interesting because the card here is an angel, which I just realized it's an angel, and it's a guy, and he has the swords, and he has a staff and a card and a chalice. And so I'm seeing the whole being careful with drinking and partying. Was there somebody in your life that's vice wise? Are you more of like the rock for that person? But anyway, I'm seeing something with that, just being careful with that and not being used because you've been used a lot. Um, so that's what it's saying. So can it kind of get in your own skin, be more comfortable with who you are because you have a lot to offer. Don't be the invisible person. Your life is a little bit imbalanced right now. It feels like if you were to do a rate scale of like 1 through 5 and like love, career, relationships, and family, they're not balanced numbers. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And so it's saying that you need to be more yourself and practice that more. Um, so there's that. And because of that, if you continue to be the background person, it's going to bring more challenges with financial, career, and even like relationship stuff. So that's what it's warning you. But there is somebody in your life that's looking out for you. Just know that. Awesome. So,
Oh,
Wow,
thank
that
you.
was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
oh, I'm sorry to make you cry to me. Okay.
That's crazy.
That
She
was-
says something
No, no,
that,
she
that you
said
haven't
something,
told
I was
us.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it very vague and simple because I know we're on.
No, that was great.
Because like, yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Yeah.
for all the
Wow.
knowledge you shared with
Thank
us.
you.
and-
That was-
No, honestly, that was amazing.
That was
No,
great.
I've
Yeah.
never even done like Bloody Mary in the mirror.
Yeah. This is my
So
first
this was
time.
my
That's
first time ever
time
connecting to
like doing
to
tarot
the
cards. I was like, I'm never
realms.
going to do it ever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay. So I will say that, like, so most people have a fear of getting readings done because they think that I'm going to tell you things that
Horrible.
are scary and horrible. And I always tell people, like, no, like any message that comes from like, because I like to give happy messages, like empowering messages, messages from a loved one in the past life or a spirit guide or something to like keep yourself on the lookout for. And I think that like when it comes down to that, I'm never going to tell you you're going to die on January 7th 2000. You know what I mean? Like I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to get fear based, and that's why I do the whole like plug in cord thing because it's
Yeah.
consent of what you want me to know and not what you don't want to know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
My cord had a lot of filters in
Yeah,
there.
you're like, no.
He was yanking his. He was going like
Yeah,
that.
you're like, no.
But
You
thank
should
you.
have said that sooner.
But thank you so much. Sorry,
Oh, no, go ahead.
You wanna say
I was
something
gonna- I
about
was
your
just
reading?
gonna, like,
Oh yeah,
do that.
dude. I got a little. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little teary eyed. I ain't gonna
yeah.
lie. Thank you
Wow.
though.
Well,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry to
Yeah, it
be-
wasn't out of like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just out of like, oh damn.
Yeah.
It was
Well, I hope that helps.
I've never told anyone
Yeah.
ever.
I hope that helps, though.
Yeah.
Well,
It
No,
does.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank you.
joining us.
Thank you,
It was
Steffany.
a
We
great
appreciate you.
time.
Thank you for having me.
If you want to let the people know where's the best way they can find you, any upcoming projects you have.
Yeah, so I am on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube as Steffany Strange. With Instagram and TikTok, it's underscore. So Steffany_strange. And then I also do scary animations for Something Scary. We do folklore and stories around the world. So I love that project. And I'm also on a show called Mysteries Decoded on the CW. They haven't announced the most recent season yet, so we'll stay tuned for that.
Nice.
But that's where I talked about the World War II ship. So
cool.
I'm
Very
excited
cool.
to share that story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So all the links will be down below. So make sure to go check her out. Thank you again.
Yeah,
It was
thank you
a
for
fun
having me.
time.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Happy spooky season. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks.
Peace.